Throughout history, there have been few creatures that have captured our collective imagination quite like the woolly mammoth. Whether you've seen it through the lens of a young girl gazing at a skeleton in a museum, or through the perspective of a human hunter desperately fleeing for his life, this ancient beast is certainly one that has left its mark on us. Woolly mammoths are without a doubt some of the most famous prehistoric animals out there. They are easily recognizable even by those who know little about them, and are used so often in popular culture that we may be forgiven for thinking they're a bit overused. However, there really is no denying how magnificent these creatures were and still are. Woolly mammoths adapted to cold climates from the steppes of Europe to the tundra of Siberia. These gentle giants played a key role in prehistoric ecosystems and survived until the end of the last ice age. But with such a rich history, there's always more to discover. So join me as we take a look at what scientists recently learned about these animals after finding a fossilized woolly mammoth that had been stuck in ice for 10,000 years. Hi, and welcome to Paleologic. My name is Arthur. Today we will talk about woolly mammoths. This may not come as much of a surprise, but woolly mammoths were very well adapted to living in cold environments. After all, they lived during the Pleistocene epoch and were found as far north as Siberia and Alaska. Despite being related to modern-day elephants, woolly mammoths couldn't have looked more different. They were covered in long, thick hair that helped keep them warm, and their ears were small to limit heat loss. They also had a thick layer of fat under their skin, just like many animals today that live in freezing temperatures. In fact, studying the internal structure of woolly mammoth bones, scientists were able to determine that they would have had a body mass similar to that of African bush elephants. And like modern elephants, they were likely social creatures who traveled in herds. Woolly mammoths are thought to have lived in loose matriarchal herds consisting of females and their young, with males leaving the group once they reached maturity. The males would then either live alone or travel in loosely associated groups. Of course, despite their size, these animals would not have been invincible, and they did go extinct around 10,000 years ago. But why they went extinct is a source of much debate. One of the most popular theories is that they were hunted to extinction by humans. Another theory is that the warming climate at the end of the Ice Age caused the vegetation that woolly mammoths relied upon for food to disappear. There's also evidence that disease may have played a role in their extinction. For now, though, let's backtrack a bit and talk about how this amazing specimen was discovered. While the woolly mammoth remains have been found all across northern Eurasia and North America, they are particularly common in Siberia. It seems that the harsh, dry, cold climate of this region allowed for the preservation of organic material like hair, which we've been able to use to learn more about these creatures. And that's exactly what happened in the case of this specimen. In July 2020, Russian scientists made an incredible discovery when they found a frozen woolly mammoth in Siberia. The previous year, locals had spotted something sticking out of the ice and reported it to the Yakutian Research Center of the Northeastern Federal University. Researchers trekked out to the site where they discovered the ice mammoth, which is believed to be around 10,000 years old. The creature was found at an elevation of 2,600 feet above sea level in the Oy-Myakon region, a place known for its freezing temperatures and remote location. This area of Siberia is actually home to a large number of prehistoric animal remains. And in recent years, scientists have been hard at work uncovering and identifying them. The ice mammoth, as it was dubbed, was so well preserved that it still had flesh and hair attached to its bones, along with other soft tissues, such as the ears. The ice mammoth was later determined to be a juvenile male, estimated to be between 10 and 12 years old when he died. The team believes that the woolly mammoth may have been sick at the time of his death, possibly suffering from tuberculosis. This may be why he died at such a young age, as woolly mammoths typically lived between 60 and 80 years. While this particular ice mammoth was found relatively close to the surface, other specimens can be found much deeper in the permafrost. Because of this, many woolly mammoth remains have been in a state of preservation that has allowed scientists to learn more about these creatures than they otherwise would have been able to. For example, in 2010, a 40,000-year-old woolly mammoth nicknamed Lyuba was found in northern Siberia. Lyuba is the best preserved woolly mammoth ever found, and is also the most complete woolly mammoth specimen ever unearthed. She is 90% complete and is so well preserved that scientists have been able to study her soft tissues, including her eyes. However, the ice mammoth found in 2020 was so unique that it has prompted scientists to create a digital copy of him to help further our understanding of woolly mammoths. Normally, scientists are careful not to preserve too many specimens because they don't want to risk contamination. However, in this case, they decided that creating a digital copy of the ice mammoth would be beneficial for scientific purposes. Using microcomputed tomography or micro-CT scans, researchers created a detailed 3D model of the ice mammoth down to his tiny hairs. These detailed scans allow scientists to take a closer look at the ice mammoth, examining everything from his brain to his trunk. Researchers say that it's thanks to technology like micro-CT scanning that we may learn things about woolly mammoths that we never could have before. Dr. Zoran Radosavljevic from the Mammoth Museum in Siberia said, "This is an exceptional find, a real breakthrough in the study of woolly mammoths. You can see the trunk, you can see the brain. Until now, we could only dream of having such data." As previously mentioned, one of the reasons scientists believe the ice mammoth died was due to the possibility of him having contracted tuberculosis. When he was discovered, it was noted that his ribs seemed to be bent, which could be consistent with this disease. Scientists hope to confirm this by extracting DNA from the ice mammoth's remains. If they do find that he had tuberculosis, it would be the first time this disease had been identified in a prehistoric animal. It would also shed light on the potential cause of his early death. Researchers say that the process of extracting DNA from woolly mammoth remains is challenging, but thanks to new technologies, it's becoming easier and more accessible. By extracting DNA from the ice mammoth, scientists may also be able to determine his sex and learn more about his family tree. According to National Geographic, cloning a woolly mammoth is not possible due to a lack of viable DNA. However, scientists are hoping to use genetic engineering to bring back certain traits. Woolly mammoth traits, such as the ability to produce hair on its trunk and larger ears, have been identified. By inserting woolly mammoth genes into elephant cells, scientists hope to grow elephants with these traits, potentially bringing us closer to recreating a woolly mammoth. However, it's important to consider whether or not this is actually a good idea. Woolly mammoths once roamed across the planet, and it seems that a lot of people would like to change that. However, we have to ask ourselves why we would want to bring back an animal that went extinct naturally. And if we're trying to clone a woolly mammoth simply to satisfy our curiosity, perhaps we should take a moment to appreciate the wonders of science and nature by studying them without altering them. Whether or not woolly mammoths will ever walk the earth again, the ice mammoth found in Siberia in 2020 has already taught us a great deal about these magnificent creatures. Thanks to micro-CT scanning, we've been able to take a closer look at the ice mammoth, examining everything from his brain to his trunk. Hopefully, scientists will soon be able to extract DNA from the ice mammoth and learn even more about woolly mammoths. Maybe they'll even uncover the reason why this young male died 10,000 years ago. So, what do you think? Do you think woolly mammoths should be brought back? Or should we just let them rest in peace? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And while you're at it, be sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss any of our future videos. As always, thanks for watching.